Hey guys, welcome back to Create with Freething, where editing becomes easy. In this video, I'm going to be telling you mistakes I make as a beginner in video editing so you don't make the same mistake. I'm a final year student of Delta State University and I have been editing for quite a while now, and I have earned a good amount of money from video editing and photography. So if you don't want to learn similar mistake I make in my early days, it is advisable you watch this video carefully because these are the real mistakes that slowed me down at first when I started. If I want to show you some of these mistakes as an editor, I'd like to take you through the editing now so you also see where I made this mistake, so you can also follow up and correct yourself if you're already making the same mistake. So I'm going to be using CapCut to share my experience right now, where I made mistake, things I did wrong, and things I am now very aware of to be able to correct to you so you don't make the same mistake. So if you have CapCut on your phone, go down find it. But if you don't, head over to your Play Store or App Store and download CapCut because we're going to be using that for this tutorial. So let's say enter your CapCut app. Once you enter your CapCut app, the first thing we're going to be talking about is overcomplicating tools. Overcomplicating tools. When I first started as an editor, only me want to try out all the tools on the editing app all at once. I want to use text, I want to use transition, I want to use effect. Like, yes, you can use all the tools, but it depends on how you are using it. I was using it in a very wrong way. That's why I said it's a mistake I made in my early days. So at least this should be an encouragement for you that okay, the tools you are using, they ain't bad, but at least with the proper maximization, you will be able to use them well, and they are going to be having an astonishing result. So let's enter here and do a practical work so you see exactly what I'm talking about. So you tap on new project so you can export, you can import whatever video you want to edit. So let's go with this video I'm editing in almost all the tutorials right now because this is the only video I have right now, but I hope it is able to pass out the information because that's the whole essence of this tutorial. So it's not about editing one video over and over again, it's about passing out the information. So the first thing I want to talk about is overcomplicating the tools. Just in this video I want to add text. I want to just write whatever text on my mind. So I want to add text. So in adding your text, you can use any effect or any font you want to use. You can style it if you want. So this is too much effect I'm trying to tell you about. Too many tools. Okay, now I have used text. I want to use sticker. I want to use sticker. I want to use something else, like all at once. I'm sure even before I start doing all this practical work, you should already even understand what I'm trying to say by overcomplicating the tools, using more than one tool at once, like overusing them. So that's one of the mistakes I made in my early days as an editor. So the next one I'll be talking about is, so the simple lesson I'll be passing across to you. One, focus on trimming, splitting, adding basic text and simple transition so you don't overdo. Just this video now I want to add text. I won't even continue because I don't want to waste so much time on this. Adding text, adding transition, adding music all in one place. So it's gonna make the video a lot even more boring and exhausting to even look at because they'll be like, what do we are this thing? So if it's too much, it's not good. So that's the simple lesson. Don't overuse them. Focus on simple trimming, splitting, and basic text and transactions. So the next one I'll be talking about is not naming my project. Sometimes you have so many edits, so many projects. Okay, let me take you to our project. Look at our project here. So you should try naming your project. Maybe you tap on name. So feed work. This is how you name your project. It helps you not to lose any file. If you are just looking for, okay, today the video I was editing today, maybe you're editing it half, then you left it. So you want to come back to this video while editing and you have so many things here. You can simply search for the one you were editing, then you find it here. All you have to do is tap on it, you continue your edit. So name your project. So always name your project. It saves a lot of time and frustration. And the third one I'll be talking about is long clip. Keeping long clips on our timeline, just like this video over here now. This video is 53 seconds, and I told you, if the video is too long, it's going to be very exhausting for you to edit as a beginner. If you are very good, you already know the basics of editing, trimming, splitting, text, transition, music, and adjustments. If you already know all this, it's nice. You can navigate through the clip you're editing, scroll, look at where you want to cut off. So when you look at where you want to cut off, it's best you cut it off as soon as possible. Okay, now I want to cut this off, just the blank space we know to use. Immediately you cut it off and delete. So leaving all the whole clip on the timeline makes it a lot stressful for you while editing. So always try to remove all the unwanted parts, so only the part which are relevant will be available on your timeline for you to keep editing. So that's one note you should always take into consideration while editing. Before even adding any effect, sound or anything, always try to look through the clip and split out or trim whatever part you don't want to use on the video. Whatever part you don't want to use for your edit, always trim or split it out. So that's it. So, and the next one we'll be talking about is too many font and text effects. Just like we were doing at this beginning. Okay, after adding this text, so I decided to add more and more. Too many texts, too many fonts. Okay, we have already put this in mind. Let's want to type something else, because if you find that text also have its own template, once you type what are you saying the template? Once you type whatever word you want to type, you can come here at this template and take on any template. Are you saying it is something like this? Do you think it will look professional for somebody to look? Too many text, too many fonts. It will be confused for viewers who want to even take a look at your video to watch your video, because they'll be like, you are using your text to cover the subject. Okay, if you not use your text to cover the subject, you try placing your text. So too many text lines would really be confusing for your audience to look at. I love crazy fonts and effects when I started. My audience couldn't even read them. Just imagine something like this, adding more so you learn to keep it simple, so the message you are trying to pass out will be passed across plain and smooth. Too much of everything they say is bad, you understand? So you keep it simple and professional, you understand? So the next one we're going to be talking about is loud music or bad volume balance. So many people don't know how to control this part on their edit. Just imagine doing a voiceover for a video, and at the end of the day you are using music to cover up the whole voiceover you made for the video. That's very unprofessional. Instead, it's best you use the music as a background sound. So when your voice is doing the voiceover, please, the music will be to make it look a lot beautiful and smooth. So you don't use music to cover your voiceover, or you don't use a voiceover to cover your music. You understand? So some people want music to be at the background of their video. Some others want their sound to be at the background of their video. So you just learn how to use it in the appropriate way. So you'll not be finding one thing. Always learn to adjust the volume. Your voice should be clear above the music. Your voice should be always learn to adjust the volume, and your voice should be clear above the music. And the last one I'll be talking about is not exporting your video correctly. I have laid emphasis on exporting like several times before now. So if I'm still talking about exporting, that should let you know that this is a very serious and important matter, because a proper and well edited video with poor export setting will definitely damage the whole effort made during the edit. You understand me? So the proper way to export your video is at 1080p. which is 180 frame per second. Oh god, 1080p, which is 180p and 30 frames per second. So some other people prefer using 1080p and 60 frames per second. That could work, but don't go below, like maybe you want to try 720 or 480. No, 1080p is the balanced. So Android phone can watch it without lagging, an iPhone can watch it without lagging, a computer can watch it without lagging. So, but if you say you have an upgraded version, or you have or you shoot the video with 4K, you can export your video with 4K. So if you want to set your export setting, you come to this part, you tap here. So if you see this right now, it's showing 720p. So the best way to export your video is 1080p. Always move it to 1080p. So 1080p, 30 frames per second, and you export your video. Let's export. So that's how you export your video. These are the main mistake I made as a beginner in video editor. So I hope sharing them with you will be able to solve the same problem. I'm a final year student of Delta State University, and following this lesson has improved my editing a lot. Following the skills, following the errors, following the temptations, because during editing there are so many temptations, things you want to do, things you don't want to do. Sometimes even things you have already did, like you have already done, you think you are the one you did is not enough. Just imagine putting a background sound at 10 seconds, like volume 10. Then at the end of the day, you look at the volume is not loud enough. This was a sweet song, though I want people to hear the song. Then increasing it more. So you find out that those small emotional mistakes you make sometimes tends to affect your video. So you don't have to use emotion in a situation of understanding. So you have to understand what would work, what would others say. Because you as an editor, you are the first mistake observer. You are the first person that will detect your mistake. Okay, this is a mistake. Correct it immediately. You don't, after uploading your video maybe on YouTube or on Instagram or Facebook, then somebody starts entering your comment section to be like, it's also place you would have done so thing. You will even feel bad for yourself, like maybe going to look back at what the person is correcting you at, and the person is right all along. So you will feel very bad for yourself. So you should be the first person to correct yourself, so you don't feel bad when anybody corrects you. So if this video helped you, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you don't have to miss any of our videos. Remember, this is Freething, and we are here to save you. See you on our next video. Bye.